This is a JW podcast. You're now listening to Game of Clones. Hey guys, before we get started in this episode, I just want to make a point clear. A couple of times I said the words release. For example, I said the game was released 2 weeks ago. That's obviously wrong, the game's not out yet. I meant to say announced. So the game was announced 2 weeks ago. So yeah, the game isn't actually released until 2nd of October. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'll see you in the episode. Hello everyone, welcome back to Game of Clothes. This is episode 3. If you've missed out on the first episodes, head over to the YouTube channel or Spotify, the Apple Podcast, whatever, and catch up. So far we've talked about my top 10 favourite Jedi and the Phantom Menace. Really enjoyed those. Today's going to be a bit of a different episode. We're going to be talking about the new game that's just been announced by EA, and that is Star Wars Squadrons. This is something that I'm really looking forward to. I love the Star Wars games, like Battlefront 2 when it came out. I used to play it a lot. I played the old Battlefront as well. I never really played the original Battlefronts, which is why I thought the new ones were so good, because I didn't have anything to compare it to. But I had played games like Star Wars Republic Commando, which I still have, and it's a very good game. So I just love all the Star Wars games, mainly the Lego Star Wars games. So they're top tier, different gravy. This new Star Wars Squadrons game, it was released last week. Well, depending on when you're listening to this, it was either last week or 2 weeks ago, or even further if you listen to this in like a month's time, but it doesn't matter. It was released in early June, and it is a starfighter pilot game. So it's sort of, I don't really know how, I don't know too many like airplane games, but it's basically, on the Nintendo Wii Sports Resort, if you remember that game, you had the plane objective and you can fight each other on that. It's basically that, but with Star Wars ships. Simplest way of describing it. It is set after episode 6 in the Star Wars timeline. So it's the rise of the New Republic and the fall of the Empire. It's a 5 versus 5 game mode. So whether you're playing online or offline, it's 5 versus 5. I'm not too sure on the single player front, but online it's definitely 5v5, so it'll be you and 4 other people, whether it's friends or strangers, playing against the other team, whether that's Empire or Republic, depends on your choice. There is a single player story mode, which I'm really looking forward to, getting some more canon storylines, and obviously there's the online mode with various game modes. If you've ever played Star Wars Battlefront, the newer ones especially, you already have a feel for what it's like playing in Starfighter Assault and in other game modes, and getting the spaceships as unlockables in Galactic Assault. But this is something that looks really cool. I can't wait. As you'll see, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see all the videos that I've managed to download. I'm putting over the top as an overlay, so you can see what the gameplay is going to be like. The reveal trailer looked really cool. I was like sort of blown away when I first saw it, and I was like, when the gameplay trailer actually came out, I was just like, wow, this looks incredible for like a game mode. So far it looks like it's just going to be a first person. You're in the cockpit and that's what you can see. I sort of wish it'll be third person as well, because I prefer it that way. You can actually see the whole ship that you're flying. And whilst we're on the subject of seeing the ship you're flying, it's been revealed that there are 4 ship classes. So whether that is, you can choose yours to fit your style, I guess, of fighting. The 4 ship classes are: the first one is fighter, and that's sort of the all-rounders. So the ones that they've sort of advertised as being the fighters are the X-Wings and the TIE fighters, just the regular TIE fighters. So if you're a big fan of X-Wings and TIE fighters, that's the one to go for. Sort of all-rounders, good for fighting, good for completing objectives, really. Something that everyone can use, like the basic one, and that's probably the one that I'll use the most. After that, you've got the Interceptor. I think for the Republic /Rebels, that is the A wing, and then for the Empire, that is going to be the TIE Interceptor, and that's the one where it's not a box or like it's got the cockpit and then the two straight wings. It's the one where the wings are sort of curved, sort of like the Jedi starfighters in Episode 3, if you remember what those look like. These ones are very quick and they've got hunter-like fighting styles. So you see a target, you destroy a target. Basically, it's not really for competing objective. It's just the one that you'll probably get the most kills with. After that, we have got support. Now, this is one where it's sort of quite a slower one, but you can then stock up your I don't know. You can stock up your squadron with supplies. You can heal. You can do all that. You're the sort of medic, I guess, of your crew. But it's not the best for fighting, but it could be really good for completing objectives. And then after this, we've got the bomber, and that's the heavy hitters, like with high damaging ships. So, for example, if in the game mode, if you have to destroy a sort of frigate or what they call a capital ship, you'll come along and bomb it and just destroy their health on that, or the shields, I guess we'll call it. So obviously those for the Rebel will be the Y wings, and then for the Empire it's just going to be the bomber basically. Then after that we have got, oh no, that's 4 of them. Don't know where else I'm going with, but then in the gameplay trailer it was revealed that you can customize your ship with different colors, different I don't know what to call it, but different components and make it more for you, more suitable, instead of just a plain basic white and red X-wing or the grey and black TIE fighter. So you can really sort of jazz it up, make it you, which I think will be really cool. And there's no microtransactions, so the way you're going to unlock that is just by playing the game, which I think is a very strong move by EA. They're probably doing that because they're getting all of their transaction money from FIFA, but that's a different conversation, not for Star Wars podcast. But I really enjoy the fact that it's not pay to win, or because it just gives people who are rich or are willing to spend money on the game that next level. And I just enjoy playing the game and get reward for playing the game. I think that's the best way you can do any game. You can also customize the loadout of your ship. So, for example, if you don't like where the health bar is, you can move that about on your screen, make it look more better for you. So the game is very much, it wants you to do what you want to do and makes it easier for you in a way. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you get what I'm trying to say. So now that we've talked about the ships and all of that and the story mode, well, not gone into detail, but we've done the overview. Now we're going to talk about the different game modes that we've got. This is sort of online and offline, like I guess for practicing if you're doing it offline, but online you've got 2 main game modes. You've got just a basic dogfight, which is 5 versus 5, sort of team deathmatch, I guess is the best way to describe it in terms of other games. So like Call of Duty, it will be a team deathmatch, whereas in this game it is called dogfight. 5 versus 5, I assume it's the first team to destroy the opponent wins, or the surviving team wins. That should be good fun. Definitely one you'll want to play with your friends. Even just hop online and do some dogfight. I think that'd be really fun. And then the one we've got after this is called Fleet Battles, and this is like a multi-stage battle. This is the one which is like you've got the objective and you have to do it. You've got stage 1, which is a dogfight, so you have to do the 5 versus 5. And after that, you move on to stage 2. Depending on if you win or if you lose, you attack or defend. If you win the dogfight, you attack. If you lose, you defend. And you have to destroy 2 capital ships. So, I guess if you're the Empire and you win the dogfight, you have to then destroy 2 of the ships from Episode 4. At the start of Episode 4, 2 of those types of ships. But I don't know. We'll see what they go with in game. But you have to destroy 2 ships, and then if you win that, you then go on to stage 3, which is destroy a flagship. So if the big like star destroyers, those are the big, those ones I'm talking about. You have to destroy one of those. I'm guessing if you lose stage 2, you then go back to the dogfight stage. But but then I'm not too sure on that front. If you know, if you're watching and you know, please do comment below. I'd love to know. But yeah, let me just move. Anyway, so that's sort of online. You've got those two main game modes. The story mode is going to be a new, unique story to the Star Wars universe. From the trailer, it looks like we're going to be seeing more of the Star Wars Rebels character Hera Syndulla. I think that's how you say her name. But you're going to be seeing more of Hera Syndulla, which is going to be really cool. She was one of the better characters in Star Wars Rebels, and we got to see that she had a kid after the events of Episode 6. So maybe we'll see some of him as well. Maybe he'll be a Jedi. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it looks as though if you're if you're playing the story mode, you get to experience it from both You get to experience from both New Republic side and Empire side, which I think is going to be really cool. You get to see what happens on both lines. You get to see the heroes on both sides. Something that you didn't really get to see a lot of in Star Wars, but I think it's really cool that you get to see it. And like with the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign, you started off as the Empire and then you moved over to Rebels, because of the character arc and all that. And I think it's really cool that you get to play on both sides. I'm not sure if you're able to stick to one for the whole campaign, or whether you swap about as the story goes along, or if it's like choose the story mode you want to do. You can do Republic or you can do Empire, and then that's how you play the rest of the campaign. But we'll just have to see closer to when it comes out. Due to when it's set, maybe we'll get to fight the Battle of Jakku. Maybe that's one of the first fights we do in Star Wars story, in the story mode of Squadrons. But because it was already covered quite a lot in Battlefront 2, I don't think that's what we're going to be seeing, but maybe we will, because that was sort of the defining moment of the New Republic and Empire. We'll just have to see. That's sort of the basic description of what we're able to see at the minute from the game, because obviously it was only released 2 weeks ago, because it was called Project Maverick, which was not the official title of the game, but it was letting us, the audience, know that EA will work on another Star Wars game. But other details that you may find interesting, it's going to be available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. But I'm not too sure just yet if it will be available on PS5 and Xbox Series X once it releases, because they're going to be coming out at the same time. So you'd think that they'd have it on there as a ready-to-play game, because at the minute they won't have very many games to launch. So I think that would be really cool if they add it on there. But I think what would be better is if you buy it on PS4, you can then download it for free on PS5 if you get one. That's what FIFA are doing, where FIFA 21, if you buy it on PS4, you can download it for free on PS5. Which is what you should be doing, especially if you're releasing games around that time for both consoles. And for example, I can't afford a PS5 as soon as it launches, so I'm not going to be able to buy one. So I think if I was to get one, a copy of Squadrons, which I'm definitely going to do, it'll be nice to know that when I get a PS5 eventually, I can just transfer it across to PS5, and hopefully my data will cross over as well, so I don't have to start from scratch. Another cool thing is that it's cross-platform compatible. So if you're on PS4 like I am, and your best mate is on Xbox One, you can play with them. Or I think that's a really cool way to do it, because then you're really getting the Star Wars community together. Maybe also the gaming community, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes, especially with PS4 people playing with PC people, because I know that PC gamers see themselves as the most superior, but I don't really care. At the end of the day, it's a video game. So far it's looking like there's not going to be any prequel or sequel content, but I think it's going to change eventually, and I think it'll become a DLC. Especially seeing how Star Wars Battlefront 2, they eventually introduced characters like Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then General Grievous and Count Dooku? Yeah, Count Dooku was not a DLC, because the DLCs are free, but it looks like they might have updates for that. I think you'll really be able to you'll really improve the game if you include Republic versus Separatists, or maybe even Resistance versus First Order. But I definitely want to see more prequel content. I really like being able to do like especially the clone troopers. They're the best part about the prequels. being able to fight in like arc fighters and can't remember what they're called, but other Star Republic ships. I think that'd be really cool. But it's looking like we're not getting that at the minute. And there's also no heroes to play as. So like in Battlefront 2, you can play as Yoda and Yoda Starfighter, or Darth Maul and the Interceptor. Looks like we're not going to be able to do that straight away. Maybe that'll be another DLC, but it looks like it's just going to be the 4 classes that we've got at the minute. It's looking like it's going to be quite a small game. It looks like it will have a nice little community with it. If you're on Facebook, there's a Star Wars Squadrons community page, which I'm part. I didn't start, but I've joined it because my dad sent me a request to join it. And it looks like if you've got any questions about the game, they'll definitely answer it for you. I would highly recommend it. I might post the link to it in the description below. But yeah, that's sort of the whole episode of this podcast, Star Wars Squadrons. If I've missed anything out that you think is important, do feel free to comment it below. If you want to support this podcast, there'll be a link to a Teespring website where you can buy t-shirts, and I'll get some of the profits for that, and that's the best way to support the podcast, really. Unless you want to say, hey, I want to send you some money, that's another way of supporting the podcast. But if you want to support the podcast for free, head over to YouTube, leave a like and leave a comment if you enjoyed the episode, because obviously if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or anywhere else for that matter, you can't really leave much feedback. You can leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you want to do that, but the best way to support the podcast for free is leaving a like and a comment over on YouTube. But yeah, thank you very much for listening to this Squadron special episode. May the Force be with you. Peace.